Hello there, my sunshines. It's me again. It's Sarah, and I'm coming to have another little talk with you today. We're going to be talking about something a little bit on the more serious side, and it's also going to be something that's on the helpful side. It's going to help someone that may feel trapped today, that feel they need to get out of something but feel that there's no way out. And I'm here to tell them about how to establish a plan to get out. I worked in the field of domestic violence, also known as DV, for several years. And I've seen this happen over and over again where people want to leave. They want a way out, but they don't feel there is a way out. So they feel trapped. So I'm going to come to you today with some pointers on a plan to make that exit. And I hope that all of you who watch this will share it out, will like it, will follow me, will subscribe, whatever may be required to get the word out to as many people as possible, so that we will improve the lives of many, and many times it's children, it's adults, it's vulnerable adults who are ill. Alleged abusers are usually thought of as only spouses or significant others. But no, it can be a family member. It can be someone responsible for your care that is not a family member. So it comes in many different forms. So I'm not going to keep talking about it because I think most of you know where we're going with this. So I'm going to jump right in and get started. Okay. The first thing I want to mention is that so many people feel that if they have a restraining order, that they are safe. Not true. Not true. A restraining order is only a piece of paper. And if a person is willing to mistreat you, whether that's verbally, whether that's physically, whether that's emotionally, most of the time they think nothing of a piece of paper that you've received from the courts and is signed. They think nothing of going to jail or even going to prison. Many people have already stooped to that level that they no longer respect authority. So do not have a false sense of security because you have a restraining order. That's the first thing I want to say. Next, you need to know how to reach the National Domestic Violence Hotline. You may have a domestic violence center locally. If you have one locally, memorize that number. But also, keep on hand the National Domestic Violence Hotline. That number is 800-799-7233. Again, the National Domestic Violence Hotline is 800-799-7233. You can call that number 24/7, 365. There's always someone there manning that hotline. Okay? So those are the first two things I want you to remember. That a restraining order does not guarantee protection, and that you need to memorize the number to your local domestic violence shelter. If you have one close to you, memorize that number. And also keep on hand the National Domestic Violence Hotline number, which is 800-799-7233. 3. They are available 24/7, 365. Okay? Now, I'm going to begin with the steps that you need to take to plan your exit. Okay? Your exit definitely starts with a plan, a well-calculated plan. Okay? Number 1, develop a code phrase. Only share this code phrase with someone that you know you can trust. One person, no more than 2, that you know that you can trust. If you have any doubt about this person, do not share this code phrase with that person. It may be a best friend. It may be sometimes a coworker. It could be a member of the clergy, whatever. But make sure whoever you share that number with is someone that you can trust. Okay? Don't make it long. You don't need a long code phrase. Just make it short. Keep it simple. But when you say it in normal conversation, they'll know that you're getting ready to plan your exit. That's what it's all about. You know, it can be something as simple as, do you want a pizza? You know, or what flavor of pizza do you like? Anything like that. But when you say that, they will know that you're getting ready to plan your exit. But don't make it so simple that it may be something that you say in everyday conversation, and they would not recognize that you're getting ready to plan the exit. Okay? So number 1 is that code phrase. Develop your code phrase. Number 2 is gather all important documents. By important documents, I mean birth certificates for you and whoever else is coming with you, your children, social security cards for you or whoever else is coming with you. And if you have passports as well. Now, if you feel that if you gather these things, someone will notice that they are missing, then what you may have to do as far as your social security cards and your birth certificates is order one through the Social Security Administration and your State Bureau of Vital Statistics. Order them. They're usually not very expensive. You can call in your area to find out what the cost is and have those documents, have those documents sent to the person that you trust with your code phrase. Have it mailed to their address. If you feel that you may not be able to use the ones you already get to the ones you already have, and secure them with your things that you're going to use to plan your exit. Okay? So number 2 is gather all important documents. Number 3, if you are on medication or anyone that's going to be going with you, make sure that you keep your medication well supplied. Don't let it get down to the last 3 pills or whatever. Make sure you keep your medication well stocked and try to have a week's worth of medication with your items that you're going to be exiting with. Try to have at least a week's worth of medication, 7 days. If someone requires a medical device, make sure you bring that with you. You're going to need that. Whether that's a nebulizer, whether they're diabetic and have diabetic supplies, whatever, make sure that you have those things with you. Okay? So number 3 is going to be medicine and any medical devices. Okay? Number 4, your debit cards, credit cards, and cash. Now, these cards are going to be cards that has your name on them, not someone else's, your name. Do not bring credit cards or debit cards with someone else's name or someone else's name attached to them. This is to be in your name only. So gather those things. Make sure you keep those things on your person so that when you plan your exit, you already have those things. You don't have to be concerned. And any cash, I know these days very few people have cash, but if you have cash, make sure you gather that too. Okay, so that's number 4. Your debit cards, credit cards, and cash. Number 5 is clothing, toiletries, and other necessities. Now, as far as clothing, some people, when they go in their closet, they may not have many items. And if they take some items out of there, they'll be noticed. The alleged abuser will notice that you've got items missing, that you've got shoes missing. So you may, if you don't feel comfortable going ahead and setting aside your clothing and all of those things when you get ready to exit. You're not going to be doing this more than 72 hours prior to your exit for the clothing and things. So if you don't feel comfortable doing that, what you may have to do is go to a thrift store or somewhere. If you don't have much cash, buy maybe 3 outfits. Buy 3 outfits. Have them at the person's home who is also the one that knows your code phrase. Put them in a duffel bag. Have 3 days of a change of clothing for you and whoever else you have with you. At least 3 days of clothing, enough where you can wear something and you can wash it and still have some to spare. You won't have to wash every day. Toiletries, you know about the toiletries, toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, all those vital things that you're going to need. And if you have a baby, make sure you have formula, at least 2 bottles. You know the things that you're going to need there, the diapers, the wipes, all of those things that go along with that. So that's number 5, your clothing, your toiletries, and your other necessities. Now, once you know, yes, I'm fixing to leave, then 24 to 48 hours before you leave, call the shelter. Call the shelter. Now, a lot of people, when they leave, they will go to a relative. Well, if that alleged abuser knows the address of their relative, where are they going to look if you're missing? The first place they're going to go to their relative's house, right? Or to their friend's house, So when you do that, you're also putting that relative or that friend possibly in danger because the alleged abuser will probably come there looking for you. So the best place for you to go and the safest place for you to go is to a shelter. But with that being said, you've got to make sure the shelter has a bed for you and whoever else is coming with you. So it's important that you call that shelter about 48 hours before you leave. Let them know that you are planning to leave within the next 24 hours, and you need to know if they have a bed and if they can put you and your children up when you get there. You need to know there are beds available. You're not going to go and make this move and then you're out there and have nowhere to go. So call them. Make sure you call them. Tell them you plan to be there between 24 and 48 hours and you wanted to make sure that they have a bed there. That's the safest place for you to be. Now, with that being said, the reason I say to have one or two people that you trust um, to know what's going on. When you get in that shelter, you probably won't be able to make any phone calls, okay? You need to know that. That's for your safety and the safety of everyone else that's there. It's going to be a certain period of time that you're not going to be able to make a phone call to anybody. That's part of the rules. So, to prevent anyone, like maybe your mom, your sister, your brother, whoever it may be, to prevent them from being very worried about you, that person who you gave that code to can let them know that you're in a safe place, but they will not be telling them where it is. But they can let them know they can be calm. They don't have to worry about you. You and your children are in a safe place, and that as soon as you can reach out to them, you will. But that person will tell them they don't know when that will be, but they wanted them to be assured that you and your children are fine, and that it may be a while before they hear from you. Now, once you get to the shelter, there's going to be rules. Some may feel like they're very strict rules because, like I said, you will not be able to make a phone call. You will not be able to tell anybody where you are. You will be assigned a bed. You will have chores. Okay, that's the only way a shelter can work. Everybody has to have their share of chores to keep the place clean. You have to make sure that you keep your children in order. They can't be running around wild. They'll be able to play, yes, but they're going to have to learn to obey orders, and you're going to be responsible for that. So it's going to be different. But the key thing is you will be safe. Safety is the main thing. This is all about safety. Little inconvenience, a little bit of having to do some chores, that's fine. They're going to help you rebuild your life. You will be rebuilding your life. And this is the first step. Okay, this is the first step. So again, I'm going to go over my 5 pointers, okay? Number 1 is the code phrase. Establish a code phrase. Number 2 is gather your important documents. Those documents such as birth certificates, passports, and social security cards. Okay, number 3 is medications and any medical devices. Make sure you have those. If you're diabetic, make sure you have it. If you suffer from high blood pressure, if your child is asthmatic, make sure you have a nebulizer. If they're diabetic, make sure you have all your diabetic supplies. Okay? Number 4, debit cards, credit cards, and any cash, available cash you may have. Again, on those debit cards and those credit cards, make sure they're in your name and your name only. Do not grab cards that are attached to someone else. Okay? We don't want to be going from this house to a jailhouse. That's not what we're doing. We're going from this house to a safe house. Okay? And we want to keep it that way. Number 5 is clothing, toiletries, and other necessities. If you have a baby, that's going to include diapers, wipes, bottles, formula, all of that stuff. Gather all of that. And again, like I said, if you don't have a safe place to keep them where you are, these may be things that you have to gather and take to a person that you trust, so that when you exit, all of that stuff is already together. Put it in a duffel bag, and all you have to do is get to that person, grab the duffel bag, and go. That's the ideal. That's the ideal thing. So again, I hope this is helpful. I don't know who this was intended for. I've been battling with putting this message out here for a couple of days now, and it's still been on my heart to do it. So I know that someone needs this information. So I can talk forever, but I'm going to cut this right here. I would like you to follow me, to share, to comment. Let me know what other information you may need. And make sure you share it out. I just hope that this gets to the person who needs it. And my sunshines, as always, let your light shine, because you never know who might need it. So thank you so much for listening. Have a great day. Until next time, I love you all. Bye-bye.